Hey traders, welcome back to the FXC YouTube channel. Price action is starting to become a little interesting. EU looks like it may have bottomed out, starting to show some signs of strength now. Let's have a look at the charts and try to understand where price wants to go next. But starting with the fundamentals, you can see we have some EUR news today during London session. We have employment change and GDP, and during New York session we have retail sales. So for the European news, I'm not so sure the significance. If there's variance, then maybe we could see some movement in the markets. But retail sales for the US is more likely for me to bring volume into the markets. Now if we look at DXY, so starting with the 4 hour, you can see that DXY broke structure to the upside. The structure highs were broken, but there wasn't a close above the 4 hour. At least for me, I do not consider this a structure break. And looking more closely, you can also see that after breaking that high, DXY came right back down and broke right here the last point of demand. And since then, you can see that it tried to pull back a little, but failed to pull back to test anywhere near the extreme, and starting to come down ever so gradually. So I will be watching DXY today to see if we get a bigger pullback, and if we do, whether the recent high holds or not. But looking at the way that structure is being printed now, I have a feeling we may not see anything too significant in terms of pullbacks, and we may start to see DXY start pushing down to the downside more and more today. Assuming that DXY does start to push down, then obviously we can expect EU to start pushing higher. And if we look at EU now, so for EU as well, price came down significantly. On the 4 hour, price nearly came down and broke the structure low, but it missed it by 1 pipette. Literally 1 pipette. And since you can see it's had a considerable push to the upside since, we created a 4 hour chalk, and there was also a 15-minute chalk. Price came back down, pulled back a little, but failed to come back down to any of the lower demand areas for some nice entries to take the price up for longs. Ideally, I would like to see price pull back a little more before pushing up, but to be honest, there's no guarantee that we will see one. And the way I look at the way price action is moving right now, it looks like we may start to see EU pushing up today. So for today, I am bullish. Although DXY broke the structure highs, EU failed to break the structure lows. For now, structure is still holding, and it looks like we'll start to see EU pushing up today. As we're at the bottom of the range, I will be looking for longs. The big question will be is if we get a pullback beforehand, and if we do, how significant that pullback will be. I'd prefer if you came down for a deeper pullback into some of the lower demand zones before taking longs. But looking at the way price is being printed, Potentially the current range that it's in, it may hold, and then the lower demand within the range could potentially get tapped, or we may see some liquidity taken by breaking this range and then start to push up. If we just quickly look on the 15-minute, so you can see we've been consolidating in this range right here. We just started to show some signs of strength, breaking the range that it was consolidating in. And as we are starting to get close to Frankfurt Open, I could potentially see this range holding. Maybe a pullback to the bottom of the range, tapping in, showing a shift to structure, pullback, and then starting to go up. Sorry. Could also potentially see break of the range using the lows as inducement to fuel the push to the upside. My preference would be if we were to see price come down deeper and then starting to see a shift to take the price up. But just looking at how the price is consolidating here, building up more and more strength, like it wants to push to the upside. I'm not so sure it's going to come down to the lower range, or below the range, and come down to the lower demand or not. It is my preference, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. But it does look like he wants to go up. The big question for me right now is from where. I'll most likely look in this area, potentially even this could hold as well. Potentially this could hold as well, but at the same time it could make more sense for these lows to go and use as inducement to tap into this demand to fuel the push to the upside. So maybe we could see this demand being used as liquidity before it starts to push up, or maybe breaking the range and using this as liquidity to fuel the move to the upside. And like I said, it could even come deeper, but I mean, just the way structure is holding in this area, I just have a feeling that maybe it may not get down there and start to push up from this range. There is still the possibility that price could still come down. But I'm less and less convinced that we're going to see further pushes to the downside and breaks of structure. Just based on what's been presented to us, we've had our 15-minute chalk, our 4-hour chalk, that strong push to the upside, the consolidation failing to come back down and break lower into demand. I have a feeling that it's gonna push up instead of come down. Like I said, the big question is to what point it's gonna come down and where we can start looking for longs to take the price up. Well, anyways, that's the way I'm looking at the markets for now. And that sums up today's analysis. Hopefully you found it useful. Let me know your thoughts on price action for the day by leaving a comment below. And if you found value in this video, please be sure to click the like button and subscribe to ensure you don't miss future videos. And good luck trading today. Peace. Hey, you made it to the very end. Thanks for that. If you could do me one more favor and click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, it'll allow the YouTube algos to kick in and help this channel grow. Thanks again. Cheers.